Fasten your seatbelts for another Naughty Dog creation.
I grew up playing Crash Bandicoot, but I never exactly got far in the first game since its difficulty was enough to crumble a child's mind and heart alike. But I played enough Crash Bandicoot growing up to at least beat Crash 2 and 3, the second one still being my personal favorite to this day. But I never once played Crash Team Racing, otherwise known as CTR, which is how I'll be referring to it for the rest of this video, since saying Crash Team Racing 50 times would annoy both of us by the end of this video. I played CTR for the first time in 2022, at the ripe age of 24, and its engine was so intuitive. Not its mechanics, but its engine. It is extremely rare for me to feel intertwined with a game's engine. Like the controls feel like an extension of your body. I've only felt this way twice in my life. Once with Overwatch and the other with CTR. The way a game feels is possibly the most important sense when it comes to your enjoyment of a video game. But thus lies the issue with this video. How do you describe a feeling? How do I give you guys practical examples of what made Crash Team Racing what it was to me? Well, I'm going to try my best. Let's talk about something Crash Bandicoot is relentlessly praised for: sound design. And this praise will carry full circle into CTR. Your very first race will have a sequence like this: the blaring loud red beeps transitioning into the green go sign, into a turbo boost, into bumping into the back of the car in front of you, into a power slide, tires screeching, hop noise, burning rubber, all with nitro boosts blaring in the background. And then you hear a seagull, giving us obvious map ambiance. We splash through the water for a second, and then some more jumping and landing in a box crack plus a seagull. If you count this moment as the beginning of the race with the first red blare, and then by this moment when you crack that box and hear the seagull, I counted hearing 20 sound effects, not including the pitch changes, and 9 different individual effects within the first 18 seconds of a race. Now, why is this important? Because intensity and immersion are what keep people interested and focused into a game, into an experience rather. Some people will find this overwhelming, however, I find it very engaging. This is a huge reason why every single time I load up into a track of CTR, I'm immediately focused and engaged on what I'm doing. My eyes don't stray, nor do I forget that a turn is coming up as long as I understand the track and I've played it before. Unlike in a slower and less engaging racing game where my eyes might wander and I might end up crashing into a wall out of sheer boredom. CTR knows how to use the senses to keep people feeling like they are having fun. The lighthearted and cartoonish nature definitely helps as well, since most humans just relate that style to good times, Sunday mornings watching cartoons. It's one of the ways that CTR keeps you feeling comforted, yet excited and interested. Speaking of cartoons, what can I say about the Crash Bandicoot style that hasn't already been said? It's bright, but not too bright, goofy, even though not that many jokes are made throughout the series, and you see a lot of bright greens, bright blues, and oranges. As someone who knows nothing about art, I'm going to try to make a bunch of shit up now to express what I think their intentions were with that. Or hell, maybe it's unintentional, but it still makes you feel a certain way. To me, orange is the perfect neutral positive color, and what I mean by that is that it's not too bright to where it's overwhelming and annoying like yellow could be, but it's also obviously not too dark to invoke a more somber vibe like certain dark blues could. And that's where the specifically bright blues and bright greens come in. Once again, cool colors lightened up to not come off as too harsh on the eyes like tons of yellow may be, which Crash does use, but usually just in a way to accent many of the other cooler colors on screen. The world of Crash Bandicoot has always been vibrant, and I think people who have played any Crash Bandicoot game almost never forget that vibrancy and that feel and the emotional connection that the colors bring to you during your experience. Talking about touch when referring to a video game gets a bit strange, since that may be an entirely different frame of reference per person. What I imagine it would refer to is the feeling of the turns, the responsiveness of the controls, and the overall physical feeling of the in-game world engine. Virtual touch is a difficult thing to grasp, but once again, I'm trying my best here. One of the first things I want to talk about is the intuitive anticipation of jump velocity in height within a game, especially a platformer or a kart racer where jumping and sliding for turbo boosts are a necessity. I will admit, I think playing traditional Crash first and then going to CTR has hugely benefited me here because you are already subconsciously remembering the feeling of original Crash jumping height. It looks like this. So therefore, with that frame of reference point, you would expect the jump from a standstill in CTR to maybe be around half that, or maybe even a quarter with the weight of the cart holding you down. So CTR jumps look like this. It just feels good and makes sense. Would it feel this good without the traditional Crash frame of reference that I have? Unfortunately, that's a question I can't answer since my mind was polluted with good video games from an early age. But whether intentional or not, CTR used the brand it had developed to actually make its game better mechanically, to make it feel intuitive to the current audience. It's not just a, hey, I can play that game with the characters I already like. It feels like the same mechanical experience across games, which I think is something later Crash games lost, and is a huge reason why, in my opinion, Crash Bandicoot mostly failed beyond the PlayStation 1. They built an incredible mechanical foundation, a reference point that people could look back on for jumps, speed, landing locations, and other crucial platforming mechanics, and carried them across multiple games and even multiple genres, while simply adding upon them with more complex mechanics like slide jumps or turbo boosts like in CTR, without changing the core feeling of the engine. This consistency of the world's physics is truly what made Crash Bandicoot feel so intuitive, and it made it feel like an extension of the player's body for many people growing up. Crash Bandicoot connected with many of us, and CTR manages to continue this connection across a genre which I find just monstrously impressive. Nah, I'm not doing those. And honestly, maybe even sadly, this brings us to the end of this short little video. I could go on talking about the impressive level design allowing for a natural flow state and jump chaining for speed boosts with ease, even in casual play or more advanced play, multiple characters being available for the first time in the Crash Bandicoot franchise. I could go on, but for today, I won't. This was meant to be a quick little side project to get out some passion that I had built up inside of me whenever Crash Team Racing comes up, and I just hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you could take the time to like the video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you want to see videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find some time to play some video games today.